Welcome back, everyone, to the Deltona Biz Review.
Great to be here.
We're your guides, diving into what locals are saying about businesses right here in Deltona.
And today, we've got boiled crab China taste on the agenda.
That's right. They're located at 605 Courtland Boulevard, Suite 104. Phone number is 407-321-8801.
And they do have a website, too. ChinaTastedDeltonaFL.com if you want to check out the menu beforehand.
So our mission today, like always, is to really unpack what you, the listeners, are saying based on the reviews you've shared.
Yeah, we're digging into the quality of the food, the price, the value.
Customer service, too, right?
Yeah.
Especially for takeout and ordering, that seems key here.
Definitely. And maybe get a sense of the overall ambiance, though we'll see what the reviews actually say about that.
We've got feedback from TripAdvisor and Yelp. And like I say, it looks like a real mix of opinions.
Absolutely. And the name itself, Boiled Crab China Taste, it kind of hints at that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's listed as Chinese and seafood cuisine. And reviewers, you folks have picked up on that. There's talk of traditional Chinese dishes, but also this Cajun seafood menu.
A duality, as you put it. Interesting starting point.
It really is. It seems to shape a lot of the experiences people report.
Okay, so let's look at those ratings. You sent us the reviews. And right off the bat, there's a difference. TripAdvisor, 9 reviews. It's a 3.4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But then Yelp, way more reviews, 38 of them, and the average rating dips to 2.8.
That's quite a gap. It really signals that people are having very different experiences there.
What do you make of that? Where do we start unpacking it?
Well, it's interesting. If you look at the TripAdvisor reviews, especially the older ones, say 2014 up to maybe 2017.
Okay.
The picture is generally more positive. People were saying things like hot and fresh, consistent. Some even called it the best Chinese in Deltona.
High praise.
Yeah. And they often mentioned good value, fair prices, and that the online ordering was convenient. We even saw a comment from a longtime local customer who talked about years of good takeout experiences, and sometimes they even threw in little extras.
So maybe they had a stronger start, or some people have just had consistently good luck.
Could be. It suggests there was, or maybe still is for some, a foundation of positive experiences.
But there's always a but, isn't there? Because the more recent feedback you shared tells a different story.
It really does seem to shift, like that TripAdvisor review from just this February 2025.
Yeah, I saw that one, the beef teriyaki.
Exactly. Described as dry and burned. And what seemed really frustrating for that customer was the response.
They asked him to drive back with the food.
Right. Which wasn't feasible for the customer. And even after sending photos, apparently no resolution. That feels like a real drop from hot and fresh quality.
Definitely. And are these quality concerns showing up on Yelp too?
Oh, absolutely. And often with more specifics. There's a very recent one, March 2025 on Yelp.
What did that one say?
It mentioned tough beef and tough pork, specifically in the pepper steak and the lo mein. Basically saying the texture just ruined the meal.
Oof. Tough meat is never good.
No. And go back a little further, October 2024 on Yelp, someone just flat out said they returned a large order because of quality concerns. Didn't elaborate much, but that speaks volumes.
It does. Returning a whole order.
Yeah. But probably the most concerning piece of feedback you shared was that 2020 Yelp review.
The one about the crab legs.
Yeah, detailing finding leeches on the crab legs.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, that's obviously a massive red flag regarding food safety, handling, just basic standards.
Absolutely. And how was that handled?
According to the review, poorly. The customer mentioned a negative interaction with the owner when they tried to address it.
Yikes. So it's not just the food quality itself sometimes, it's also how issues are dealt with. That brings us to customer service.
A really crucial point. And yeah, the experiences seem just as varied there.
What kind of things came up?
Well, we saw that TripAdvisor review from March 2019. Someone got the wrong rice with their order.
Okay, mistakes happen, but...
But according to the reviewer, the staff got argumentative, refused to fix it, and they also noted the honey chicken recipe seemed different. Maybe not in a good way.
So, inflexibility and maybe inconsistency.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Then there was a Yelp review, January 2024, about an online order pickup.
What happened there?
Some kind of mix-up with the confirmation number, maybe a small thing in the grand scheme, but still, it made the pickup inconvenient, less smooth.
Little frictions can add up.
They really can, but if you want a detailed account of service issues, that Yelp review from 2016, wow.
Right, you mentioned that one earlier. It sounded like a catalog of errors.
Pretty much. Issues starting with the online payment, then the delivery going to the wrong address.
Oh no.
Then the food finally arrives, but it's cold. And on top of all that, the customer felt the staff was rude throughout the whole ordeal.
That sounds like a nightmare scenario for ordering delivery.
It really does. It suggests, at least back then, some real potential weaknesses in their whole system, from taking the order to getting it to the customer correctly and handling complaints.
So, since so many people seem to be ordering takeout or delivery from them, based on your feedback, what's the verdict on those specific experiences? It sounds pretty rocky.
It's definitely a mixed bag, which makes it tricky, right? If you're in Deltona trying to decide.
Yeah.
You've got that older TripAdvisor review, 2014, saying online ordering was easy, convenient, great.
Okay.
But then, bam, that 2016 Yelp review with the delivery disaster we just talked about.
All right. Polar opposites.
And more recently, a 2021 Yelp review mentioned a really long wait for a DoorDash order.
So maybe issues coordinating with third-party apps too?
Potentially. It suggests maybe they get overwhelmed or there are communication issues there sometime.
Well, was it all bad news for getting food to go?
No, and this is where it gets interesting, kind of contradictory. There's a Yelp review from 2023.
And what'd that one say?
This person specifically recommended against delivery, said don't do it.
Okay.
But they praised the food when they ordered it for takeout and picked it up themselves.
Really? What did they like?
They called out the house special lo mein and the egg rolls as being good. And they also mentioned the staff was friendly during the pickup.
So maybe the key is avoiding delivery and just doing pickup.
According to that one reviewer, yeah. It suggests the in-person takeout experience might be more reliable, or at least it was for them.
That's a really useful distinction for people listening.
Yeah.
Definitely something to consider. Okay, what about the place itself? The ambiance. Did anyone talk about eating in the restaurant?
Very little information on that, actually, in the reviews you shared.
Nothing really.
Well, there was one very direct quote from a 2014 TripAdvisor review. It said, definitely a takeout place, not a place I would want to go to sit down and eat.
Pretty clear statement.
Yeah. Yelp has a few photos, labeled inside and outside, and it lists quiet as a possible vibe. But honestly, the overwhelming focus in almost all the reviews is takeout and delivery. It really reinforces that idea that the dine-in experience probably isn't their main thing, or at least not what people are talking about.
So the consensus seems to be, think of it as a place to grab food to go in Deltona.
Pretty much, based on this feedback.
Got it. Let's talk money then. Price and value. What do you folks say about that? Is it cheap? Is it worth it?
Well, both TripAdvisor and Yelp use that single $ symbol.
Meaning inexpensive generally.
Right. But how people feel about the value seems tied directly to their experience with the food and service.
Makes sense.
For instance, an older TripAdvisor review, 2017, mentioned the price for pepper stick was good, but they felt the quality just wasn't there to justify even that price.
So cheap isn't always good value if the food's disappointing.
Exactly. On the flip side, a more recent Yelp review, 2020, specifically talking about their seafood boil, described it as reasonably priced.
Okay, so for the seafood boil, maybe the price felt right.
It seems that way for that reviewer. So yeah, it's seen as affordable, but whether you feel you got good value really depends on if you liked what you ordered and how you were treated.
Right. Even if it's cheap, you want it to be decent.
Okay, so despite all the criticisms, were there specific dishes that kept popping up as good? Any potential winners on the menu?
Yes, absolutely. Even with all the mixed feedback, some items definitely got positive shout-outs from you.
Like what?
That house special lo mein and the egg rolls were mentioned in that positive 2023 Yelp takeout review.
Okay, lo mein and egg rolls. Staples.
Right. Sweet and sour chicken actually got favorable comments in 2 different Yelp reviews.
Nice.
Although we should remember, one of those reviews also complained about tough beef in another dish. So mixed bag even within one review sometimes.
True. Anything else?
Shrimp rolls and wonton soup got a positive mention in one Yelp review.
Okay.
And then related to their Cajun side, that house special sauce for the seafood boil, that was described really enthusiastically in a few Yelp reviews. So the sauce for the boil might be a real draw for people ordering that.
It certainly seems like it. It suggests that they might have some specific dishes, maybe some of their signatures that are more consistently hitting the mark.
Interesting. Okay, so wrapping up this Deltona Biz review, deep dive into boiled crab China taste. What's the big picture takeaway from all this local feedback you shared?
I think the clearest takeaway is inconsistency. It really seems to be a restaurant with a reputation that varies quite a bit within the Deltona community.
Yeah, you've got those longtime folks with good memories, liking the takeout, the prices.
Right. But then you have this more recent feedback raising some pretty serious flags about food quality, especially certain dishes, the seafood handling in that one alarming case.
And definite bumps in the road with customer service and just getting orders right.
Exactly. And that strong emphasis on takeout in the reviews really suggests that if you are going to try it, picking it up yourself might be the safer bet, based on what we've heard.
And that whole Chinese and Cajun thing?
It seems like the Cajun part, particularly that house special sauce for the seafood boil, is genuinely a highlight for some people who order it.
But you have to weigh that against the other concerns, right?
Absolutely. Potential customers really need to balance those positive mentions against the reports of quality issues and service problems. It's very much a mixed bag looking at all the reviews together.
So for you listening in Deltona, thinking about boiled crab China taste,
Yeah.
it really comes down to what you prioritize, doesn't it?
I think so. Is it the price? The convenience of takeout? Are you craving that specific house special lo mein or willing to try the seafood boil?
You have to weigh those against the potential downsides highlighted by your neighbors.
Precisely. Maybe the most valuable thing from this deep dive is just understanding the range of experiences people are having.
Definitely gives you a lot to consider. What stands out most to you from hearing all these local perspectives? Food for thought next time you're deciding where to eat in Deltona.